Plaintiff Clifford Boone Sr. says he first met the defendant when they were younger, and he was dating her sister. Clifford claims years later he and the defendant reconnected and they started dating. But prior to that, she was romantically involved with a married couple. Clifford's suing her today for the balance due on a loan. Defendant Karen Oyoyo says Clifford is delusional because they never dated and were nothing more than friends. And although she admits that she was involved with a married man, she insists she was never involved with a married couple. Karen's countersuing for unpaid rent.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
I'll start with you.
Your Honor, I met Karen when I was a young school-age boy. Her and her family moved on my block in upstate New York. She and her gorgeous sisters and I were friends. I actually dated one of her older sisters. I returned back to the area in 2000, where I reunited with Karen at a school. We were both teachers. She approached me one day in the hallway and said, you know, we were childhood friends. And it took me a while to recollect, because it had been many years.
What year was this?
In 2000.
Okay, this
I'm
all
sorry,
happened.
but you're saying that wrong. You approached me.
Okay, maybe, whatever. Anyway, I may have approached her, however, they all look alike. They're all gorgeous. They all look like they are stair steps.
Got that point.
Okay, so we reunited. Well, we didn't reunite. We reacquainted ourselves.
How
Then we
did things
started
go?
dating.
How did things go when you were dating?
We were dating?
Well,
Mr. Boone, you are delusional. Just like the pastor said, you are delusional.
Okay.
We never dated.
She called you mister. That sounds a little odd. And she said the pastor told you were delusional.
no pastor has never called me delusional.
It was a sermon that the pastor preached Sunday before last, and he was talking about how people are delusional.
You give me some background on your friendship,
Okay,
relationship.
well, Mr. Boone, he had it kind of right. We hadn't seen each other in a while. We ended up being at the same school.
What level school? Middle, high?
Middle school. Me and Mr. Boone started hanging out, you know, happy hour, theater, lunch, dinner. We started hanging out with each other. And
I don't know. That sounds like dating to me, Boone.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Relationships are relative.
Yeah, that sounds
We
like
were
dating.
friends.
Well,
we were friends.
we were friends.
With benefits.
No, we never had a bit. Hold up now.
You want to
What
know the
benefit
truth?
did you have? Because I want to know about it, because I don't remember the benefit.
Pension.
No.
He ain't talking about nothing. Pension. That's
Oh, he
what
must
he
be.
got.
He
Yeah,
must
he ain't
be.
getting no
Show ain't
benefit.
talking about nothing.
That must have health care. That's all
Yeah,
you
health
get.
care something.
Pension.
Because the show ain't
yeah,
talking
about
about
some
nothing.
benefits.
Mr.
Go
Boone
ahead.
happens to be a very nice person. However, he can't drink a drink. One drink is over. He's delusional. He becomes delusional. And that's what I was talking about. But we're friends. We were friends.
And co-workers. Mhm.
And co-workers.
You all still work at the same school together?
No.
Why? What happened there?
You just, year goes by as you get.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily so.
What?
As I said, I'm a teacher. I'm at buildings. Miss Yo-Yo is a substitute.
I got
so
that.
she travels.
That's true.
So
All
she's
right.
not assigned, nor does she has a contract.
All right.
I get her jobs. Well,
All right.
you may as a sub. I'm not sure.
I have a contract.
That's the
okay,
point,
but I'm
sir.
just-
And he's stuck somewhere, and you
thank
get to
you.
go where you want.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
True. So I
I'll
was
take
stuck.
your job over here. Go
I was
ahead.
stuck somewhere 10 years in a new building, the newest school in the city.
Come on, man. Just tell me what you're suing
I
about.
hired Miss Oyoyo and her daughter and her woman to work for an after-school program.
You hired us.
Well,
I'm sorry, but Sean McClawson hired me.
I was the point person at the building. I ran the after-school program.
Sean McClawson ran the after-school
McClawson
program.
ran it.
He was the overseer for 18 different buildings. Now,
But you didn't run nothing. Sean McClawson ran that building.
McClawson ran 18 buildings.
And-
Somebody had to run that one.
It wasn't Mr. Boone.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Go ahead, Boone.
No, it wasn't.
Go ahead, Boone.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We together, man.
So I it was in charge of the budgeting. Okay, I ran the kitchen.
You
Okay.
ran the home and careers room. You did not run the
All
after
right,
school
ma'am,
program.
that's enough.
Okay,
We got
okay,
that.
okay.
All right,
So the
you-
kids ate on Saturdays and they had to eat after school. We kept the children after school.
Good.
It was a remedial help program for children that needed
Excellent.
additional services.
Who sponsored it and financed it?
The state, a program called Century 21.
Okay.
And the gentleman, Mr.
Was it
McClarson,
successful?
Very successful.
it was needed. It was definitely needed.
All right, so why are you suing her today about a loan?
Well, her husband died. Mr. Hicks is now deceased.
God bless him.
This year, 2
Sir?
years ago today. Think about it.
Okay. I knew Mr.
Let's be
Hicks.
sensitive about this now. We
Okay.
ain't playing with this. Go ahead.
Okay, so I knew Mr. Hicks, and I knew her previous relationships that she was involved in as well.
Okay.
So when Mr. Hicks died, shortly thereafter, she decided, her and her daughter, that they were going to move to Atlanta. They asked me to move down there with them. I declined. I declined because I realized that before she even married Mr. Hicks, Miss Oyoyo was in a relationship with another married couple.
Leave this alone,
A
man.
married couple.
Yes.
How do you know this? Where do you get this
Were
from?
you
Gossip?
there? Because I want to know.
Where do
A
you get
married
this
cou-
gossip?
Are you serious? Now that's slander, darling. And you know better than that. You know it wasn't no married couple. It was a married man, but it was not a married couple. Yes, the bottom line is, you know, so don't tell me. Now you know better than that. Now, Cliff, now you're becoming delusional. A married couple? Really?
The married man that she was involved with had a, I met the wife. I hired
Okay.
the wife. The wife also came to work at the building.
Okay, stop with the gossip.
That's
what
what
you're
it
suing
is.
her about today?
That's what it is.
Why are you suing her?
Because when Mr. Hicks, her then husband, died, they were moving to Atlanta.
I got that.
She
You
asked
refused
me
them.
to
They
loan her
begged you to
15
come. You said no. Why are you suing her?
Because she never paid me back the $15.
When did you loan her money?
Well, it would have been in 2015
And that was for what purpose?
for them to relocate to Atlanta.
There you go. And when was she to repay?
When her deceased husband's insurance policy.
All right,
was
and
to
she
pay
hasn't
off.
repaid you yet?
No, sir. And the
All right.
stipulation was also that if the policy didn't pay off, once she moved to Atlanta,
would cover it.
No,
Got it.
no, she
What?
was going to give me her furniture. She had a house full of
You
furniture.
don't have the furniture either.
I have a house full of, I don't need the furniture. No, I have
Well, why did you
furniture.
make that agreement? Go ahead,
Because I was going to
ma'am.
give it to someone else.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Okay,
On
sir.
this loan
Your
or
Honor.
what have you.
The loan. Let me just tell you about the loan. I was going to move to Atlanta after my husband passed. I didn't move to Atlanta. I since have given Mr. Boone $500 of that money back in December of 2016. However, I feel like Mr. Boone owes me money. The only reason I'm here today, Judge, is to get this straight. He owes me money. Back in 2004, when we rekindled our friendship, he called me from the county jail telling me that he had nowhere to go because he had put a gun on his sister.
Not Mr. Boone in jail.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Mr.
would've guessed.
Boone, the school administrator, I run the program. I'm so big. Your Honor, you see me flashing this ring on you every now and then. I hope you see that. I hope you catch that. Then you know how really big I am. I'm big, real big.
Called me from the jail saying he had nowhere to go. Could he move in with me? He would pay me.
Move in.
Move in. He had nowhere to go. His family didn't want to be bothered with him. His girlfriend didn't want to be bothered with him. He needed somewhere to go.
That's not true,
But
Mr.
Mr.
Boone.
Boone, keep in mind, this was my friend. This was my road dog.
ahead.
You know, there's a difference between having a relationship and a road dog.
That's right.
This was my road dog.
Okay, he had
You
your
know?
back, right.
So he moved in, not a problem. He stayed for 3 months. Didn't give me a dime in the 3 months. I've never, Your Honor, never asked him for it. Because you don't kick a man when he's down, you just pick him up. And when I asked him for that loan, it was after my husband died, after I realized that, okay, I paid for the whole funeral. No one helped me pay for that funeral. To this day, I have not gotten the insurance money, but that's another story. After my husband died, I asked him for that money. I asked him for a loan, so yes. But when I asked him, I was so hurt that he told me it was a loan. But at that point in time, I agreed to that because I could not believe of the simple fact that I never asked you in all this time. Now, there's been, 5 years or 6 years that passed? All this time, I never asked you for a dime of the money, of the rent that you said you were going to pay me, because you're my friend. You don't do friends like that.
He didn't pay utilities or anything?
He didn't pay a thing. Not a thing.
How long did he stay there?
He stayed at my house for 3 months.
Sir, Mr. Boone, is that true?
I did stay with her for 3 months. My mother had a stroke in 2004. My sister assaulted my mother, and I corrected my sister.
Okay.
I went to jail.
With a gun.
Okay.
Well, I didn't have a gun.
I understand
now.
now.
I don't have a gun. I went to jail overnight. I had a woman at the time who wanted me to come stay with her.
Well, why did you come stay with me?
Because you begged me to. She really did.
You called me at school.
No.
You called me if you had nowhere to go. If I had a man, if the situation was reversed, I had a man, I'd be at my man's house, not at my friend's house.
I have a baby mama. We've been together 44 years.
And she didn't want a thing to do with you. Still don't want a thing to do with you.
She worked with us. She's all aware of this, okay? I hired her too.
Thank you.
I hired her too, okay?
Your hirees don't work out. Go ahead.
So may I finish?
Yes, sir, you
So
may.
my sister, I have an older sister who's married, had a husband. She came to bail me out. Karen came to bail me out, but my brother-in-law.
I ain't have a dime.
My brother-in-law bailed me out of jail. I was gonna go stay with my sister. I own a home.
I know,
property.
you big, real big. I know that.
No.
I know you got the home, all of that.
Well, I don't have to.
This week, the home was in repairs for 3 months.
3 months.
No, because I was
go back
arrested.
home.
My mother lived downstairs from me.
Did you live with this woman for 3 months?
Yes,
and why
I did.
didn't you give her a
I
dime?
wine and dine her every day.
And you know what? But you ain't gave me no rent. Whining and dining, you get off work. I ain't going home to cook for nobody. You ain't my man.
Okay, I don't have to be your man. You insisted I come live with you. She didn't have a car.
Insisted?
She didn't have a car.
Insisted to
She was
live.
not
First she
driving.
begged you to move to Atlanta,
But
and you wouldn't do that. You say it's her, but I believe it's you that's doing the begging.
Begging for what?
To move in, like you did. You moved in for 3 months.
No, sir.
You
That's
did
not right,
move in
sir.
for 3
And I
months,
ain't begged
and
you.
then
I
give her a
didn't even know you
dime.
was
Okay,
in
may I
jail.
just,
You
sir, may I
called
say
me.
this? May I
How
say
did I
this,
know you
sir?
were in jail?
May I say this,
How did
sir?
I know you were in jail? You
Because it's
called
on the
me.
internet. I don't know.
Sir, I'm gonna grant you your judgment.
Thank
She
you.
agrees that she owes the loan. She doesn't have a legal defense. And so, ma'am, I must grant him the judgment. Your defense is
Well, what about my
you
money?
paid him some. You all didn't have an agreement for rent. And,
Yes, he
and that was
said.
2004. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have a good day.
So listen here. Now you know. All right.
Yeah, what is $1,200 between friends?
Yeah,
we work
you
stuff
heard
out.
that. We gonna work something out.
All
All right, baby.
We can work it out.
All right.
Okay, we can work it out. I hope we continue to be friends. We've been friends since childhood. We've traveled. We've done a lot of things. We've never had this is the first argument we've ever had
In the time that
in
we've
40 years.
And it's just all about money. And I mean,
money
money
is
doesn't
nothing.
mean anything,
Right,
you know?
we've
And I can't believe he brought me here for
Because
this
I
money.
needed it and I didn't get it, and my mother died and my brother died, and I told you I needed the money, Karen.
But you know I didn't have it, though.
Well, you went to Mexico. You got a new car. You moved to Atlanta. Come on.
I didn't move to Atlanta. I'm
Y'all
still
had
in
all the
Buffalo.
big parties.